Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Yes!
Alright, so sometimes we do a little colloquial on our own statement of let's play a game, and sometimes I want to say let's play a nurse together, and then I go, but you shouldn't want to say that, Brain.
Brain, say let's play a nurse together. Let's play a lizard brain together.
I mean,
Perfect.
we are playing a boy together, if you will, because that's the assumed person on this side of the screen.
But not... So I hate to tell you that not all boys are interested in nurses.
It's true.
So,
and in this particular game, this boy is assumed to be interested in a couple of nurses, I guess.
Yes,
Anyway.
and then also in a child who's so ill, and she's the nicest person on the face of the earth.
All right, I have to say, I can't really shame someone for being interested in the nicest person on the face of the earth.
Oh,
you know
no.
what? She hasn't been proven to be that, and I don't really feel it, but, you know, if he genuinely believes it, so that's a thing.
Again, if it's something that makes him happy, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that at all.
Nope.
The only thing that I have a problem with it is just because it seems like a very bizarre and potentially unhealthy dynamic. But
Okay.
I say potentially
So,
because...
If we look at the left side of Miki's face here, not her actual left side, the left side facing us.
I'm looking.
And the spiky hair, line is really interesting.
Oh, yes.
Like, when you pull back, like, a ponytail or whatever, you usually don't have, like, aggressive spikes on the edge of your, forehead kind of thing. Like, that is a choice.
Well, yeah, that's because they don't want to do, like, the smaller, finer lines.
Or do a smooth line?
Yeah.
It's just an interesting choice.
It's also, I think, one of those things where sometimes people go, I could interpret this better rather than having a straight line. Because some people go, that's way too cartoony. I'm trying to do something a little bit more, that feels close to like it's trying to go towards realism, but then the face completely drops it, so,
All right. She hugs herself in a tender manner.
Tender.
What is the matter with her? What is the matter with her? I mean, what is the matter with her? Why does she suddenly look gloomy? This is not the Miki that I have known for at least a week. A week.
Week.
Ah. My father had Alzheimer's. Right. So you're saying I might have asked an insensitive question. Piano guy in the corner's got it, though.
He's filling in all the space.
The silence envelops the room for a few minutes.
With lovely, beautiful piano music, and I really have to, drop a tip over in his jar.
Like, damn, the guy
or their jar.
Who's doing the individual doing the piano for this scene, good job, them. Like, just sitting in the corner of the room.
My guy, my lady, my man.
I think my favorite headcanon about this is that all the music in it is diegetic, and there's someone in there playing the music the whole time. I love Hospital Theme Song Guy. Like, he does such a good job.
I mean, they all do such a good job, because, they have to take shifts. But
nope,
yeah.
If the nurses all work 24-hour days, 7 days a week.
You really think it's one person?
One dude.
No,
we've established that there are shifts.
I'll
just say Hospital Theme Song Team. How about that?
Yeah, okay, I can go.
We've added a team of characters.
Let's support them.
We support them. They are super good. If you want to make your Hospital Theme Song OC, go for it, alright? Them there with their one-man band trying to adjust for every possible musical situation.
Oh, God, yes, right? Looks like Bert from Mary Poppins, where he's got that little musical setup. He's got every instrument on himself.
And a piano across the front of them.
There was somebody who actually, I think, did that in real life, where they actually had, an entire mini band
and they tried
ensemble.
a theme song for people?
Oh, yeah, well, it was wild, and they actually did it really well. And it was one of the things I remember. There was a short video going around about it, ages ago.
It was musically narrating people's lives, I think.
No, I'm just talking about a dude in their house, but he was, playing multiple different instruments.
Oh, okay, then I don't know. I'm thinking of a different one.
Yeah,
I was thinking one of a walking band. Anyway, I have to say that both of them have an incredible amount of fortitude to be able to just stare each other straight in the eyes and not speak for a few minutes. Imagine with a near stranger, a reasonable acquaintance. You hit an awkward pause, and instead of either of you trying to break the silence, you just stare into each other's eyes, sort of frozen and thoughtful, for 2 to 3 minutes. Set your clock on that one. That's a long time, okay?
Honestly, it'd be great. It'd be
it's a kind of amazing.
It's a game to play with your friend and social distance.
Right? Do it from a distance. Do it from 6 feet away. It'd be amazing. Miki, Don't say you're sorry. I'm not asking for pity or anything. There she is, back to her normal self.
Okay, and the thing is, saying that you're sorry to someone for their situation is not giving them pity. It's going that I have empathy for your situation, or I might,
It's not inherently giving them pity.
No.
Some people could pity you, but usually it's not. Usually they're being like, I feel you. I appreciate that this is a hard situation, and I'm sorry you're going through it.
I'm having a sympathetic experience. I can imagine well enough, I think, to be able to comprehend some measure of perhaps your grief. Now, I might not get it all entirely, but I think I could comprehend some of it.
Or even without that, you could go, you clearly are feeling grief and sadness. Whatever that is, those are not cool emotions to feel, in my opinion. I'm sorry you have to feel them.
Right?
Like, you could be like, I can't relate at all, but I know what those emotions are.
Right.
Like, done. Anyway, what's done is done. Someone did Alzheimer's to him. I'm not going to stir some drama between the two of us.
What?
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 What's done is done. Me asking about the Alzheimer's is done. She's not talking about her dad anymore. She's talking about Mr. asking about the memory problems that Grandma has.
I have no idea. We're trying to make this make sense, and that doesn't make sense.
I know you won't. You're a strong woman, Miki. I don't want to stir drama between the two of us. I know you won't stir drama between the two of us because you're strong.
Right.
So it takes strong people to avoid deliberately creating drama between each other? That's a take. That is a take. Miki pauses for a moment.
Just one, though.
Not a couple of minutes, but a moment.
Just one.
You know what happened the last time my father remembered me? No, because I have no connection to you at all.
I thought we weren't going to talk about this anymore, but okay.
No, but I know you won't stir up drama because you're more mature than that. So go ahead and tell me.
I'm also going to stir up drama. How?
Her lips quiver as she speaks. I love when they say lips quiver in anime where there are no lips, they just have a mouth. It's petty, but I love it.
Honestly, they have lips when it's a side view. When it's usually a front view, they don't.
I know. Well, like I said, it doesn't mean that the character doesn't have lips. It's just their lips quiver, and you're like, their mouth line quivers. Like I said, it's very petty, but it makes me laugh inside.
It fulfills my soul.
In the hollow of my soul.
Where I kept it at one point.
He said, I'm so proud of you, my daughter. I know that you will go far. And I have. That's what he said. And the next day, he just completely forgot about me and his family.
Oh, I thought he was just gonna die. Sorry, I know it happens. Sometimes where people are like, they remembered me for a couple of minutes, and
or
the
for
next
a couple
day,
of seconds before they died.
The last time I saw them, they were dead. But, by the next time I saw them.
So there is this interesting phenomenon, sometimes when people are very close to death, that they will regain their senses, as it were. Where even if not everyone has it. It happens sometimes to some people where they're going, yeah, they had massive dementia, Alzheimer's, everything, and they hadn't, remembered their daughter in 6 years, and their daughter's sitting by their bed, and they're going, Dad, I'm going to miss you. They look up and they go, honey, I'm going to miss you too. I love you. And they're just like, whoa. And then they die.
And that's what she wrote.
And that is it. I was like, the next day he just completely forgot all about me and his family. That sounds like he remembered us for the whole day, and then poof, he forgot about everything forever. That sounds a little extreme, but that's okay. She can be being extreme and have an inaccurate narrative, and that doesn't matter. Sometimes I get so frustrated trying to figure out whether the characters are being exaggeratory and having inaccurate narratives, or whether the game is saying, this is truly what happened. For real. That is the existence of this reality. Going, maybe your Alzheimer's doesn't work like reality Alzheimer's. That's okay. Fictional Alzheimer's works differently. We could have called it fictional memory disease, but we called it Alzheimer's.
Honestly, that is a thing that I have found to be really frustrating in relation to a lot of books, where they go, you have a fictional disease, and you go, no, I'm going to call it this thing, and it's so wildly misused. So, people who have, dissociative identity disorder is wildly misused, and it's a more common name where people are used to calling it, by the way, is schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is so heavily abused in stories that I have ever been in contact with. You'll see it in horror.
And they'll use it to explain anything.
Oh, yeah, anything. And you're like, that's not even close. This is what the fuck? Yeah.
Oh, they're schizophrenic. And you're like, that's manic depression? That's actually just confusion. That's actually just neglect and PTSD. I don't know.
Or that's any combination of things other than DID.
Right.
What the fuck?
All right.
Anyway.
How do you say ... I like how do you just in character voice ... I
don't know, but I've tried it a couple times.
It's true. Memory is such a fragile thing.
And oftentimes, actually, it's one of the reasons why a lot of doctors sometimes struggle with being accurate or air quote, good at their jobs because they usually don't fucking remember very well.
Because they're supposed to remember 900,000 separate patients. I'm exaggerating. They're supposed to remember 60 to 80 separate patients regularly, and for complex, things, as well as many of those aren't their regular care patients, they're one-off patients. Like, they're expected to remember complex, detailed things about many, many people, sometimes up to 200 or 300 people, depending on how many they treat over the course of, like, monthly rotations and who their regular, crew is.
Right.
And that's a lot to remember. You lose it, and it's like your life doesn't have a direction anymore. That's why I became a nurse. Because of memory. Or because of my dad. Or because of losing it in your direction and your life.
Was it Dad or Grandpa?
I thought it was Dad. Might have been Grandpa. I thought it was Dad.
Uh-huh.
Alright, it's okay, my dad, Pa.
My dad.
Please say he's not your dad, Pa.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the game's done some weird things, so
Hello, Dad, Pa.
Hi. Whoa.
Hi.
Alright. I want to take care of people who need a helping hand.
I've got an extra one right here.
Those who don't have direction in their lives. I want to make a difference in their lives.
Very short lives, in which capitalism makes shorter.
They aren't helpless. Not at all. They just need a little push. Sick people aren't helpless. Diseased, damaged, enfeebled, disabled people are not helpless. Not at all. They just need a little push.
And particularly in conjunction with her being the one that put forth the attitude of only strong people get sick. This fucking makes me angry.
Yeah. Only people who can handle it get sick.
Mm-hmm.
Only people who can handle it have disabilities. And if you're wondering and you've only seen this episode or you haven't seen all the episodes, there was a particular episode where they did describe, based on Rena's experience, that only people who are strong enough to handle it get afflicted with things. That's her ideology.
Yeah, and we were like,
what?
Yeah.
And it sounded incredibly like standard Christian doctrine of, you're only given a burden as much as you can handle.
Yeah.
And it was just really uncomfortable going, we're just going to take everyone's abled experience and their different, levels of health and quality of life and say, well, their afflictions are only there because they're strong enough to handle them.
And I'm really just like, no, that's not true. Why the fuck do you think so many people commit suicide?
Let's ascribe meaning to everything. And let's ascribe a meaning that's pretty dark and suggests a really dark, partial, and capricious God.
And also at the same time is also incredibly shamey and going, if you can't handle this, there's something wrong with you because you should be able to handle this.
Because you wouldn't have received it if you couldn't handle it. Whoa. All right. They just need a little push.
So fucking assumptive.
Apparently, people who have broken legs aren't helpless. They just need a little push.
Down the stairs.
Are you pushing me to be healthier? Miki, that's...
dark as fuck.
One way of seeing things. That's so noble of you. Because I am totally not connected to what you're saying, but it sounds like you have strong passion about it. So noble. You are one of the best nurses I've ever met. I've only ever met 2, and you are one of the best.
Character, I will apply grandiose, extreme terms to literally everyone I meet. Like I've never met anyone before in my entire life.
One of the
I understand
best
this character
moms.
is in high school, potentially in high school. I don't actually know. But this is wild. I'm like, you seem to think like, and we've commented about this before, of going like, this character seems like they've never met anyone else. They have no other life. They have no other experiences. They don't look at the internet. They don't read anything. They haven't studied anything.
Nope.
They have no interests outside of sport. And apparently hot nurses.
What he does is sport and the light pursuit of girls when they're right in front of him.
Yes.
That is his whole person. Oh, and toxic masculinity. Don't seem to be weak. Sorry.
Shit, I forgot about that.
But that's his people personality.
Yeah.
Is sport and light pursuit of girls.
Okay.
All right. Best nurses I've ever met. And I've met 2. So that's a really big, important statement. Oh. Thank you. That means a lot to me. You really have only met 2 nurses. And I'm one of the best ones you've ever met. Thanks. I imagine she's supposed to be surprised that he says that and flattered at it, and that's probably what they're trying to do. But
especially with the happy face. Oh.
Thank you. And the pauses are because it's so unexpected.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't believe a lot. You are so kind, Mr. I just we should have made him Mr. ... Then everyone would have just been pausing so much.
No, I wonder if
it would have been amazing. She buries her face in her hands and starts to cry.
I love opening up to children. So that they will caretake for me. Okay, I'm not saying that adults and kids can't have relationships where adults can't be vulnerable, I believe, with younger kids. But recognizing basically that also that you are an adult and that they are a child and they're really, really not equipped nor usually have the experience at all to interact with you in regards to your grief or your sorrow or your pain. Not saying that some kids haven't had some of those experiences is one of those lines you should be really careful of not crossing. Because sometimes kids really will go, I'm just distressed, I have this adult crying at me, and it really upsets me because I don't know what to do with it. And it's something that kind of sits with them going, but I couldn't do anything. It was really frustrating.
See, and I have some thoughts on that subject, I was going to say, but what I'm getting here is this is a professional in a professional business situation who is acting casual with a, they are an adult and there is a minor. And I get that people can connect with their patients. People can connect with each other no matter what their situation is with each other. But this feels really, really weird in reference to real life of going, an adult mature nurse, was taking care of a 16-year-old boy, and he told me I was one of the best nurses he'd ever met, when I know canonically that he has only ever met 2. And it just really pushed me over the edge emotionally, and I just cried in front of him.
And again, that's fine. This is clearly not real life.
No.
There is also that thing, too, where it's just like, sometimes, if we were talking about a real life situation, sometimes that stuff happens, and you just have somebody, even if it's a child, because age is no indicator, basically, of somebody learning or basically being able to say something that really does touch you, especially if you're sensitive at that moment, to make you cry. Yeah, it happens.
It does. I say it just feels weird for the game, like this is the premise. Yeah. And again, anything that happens in the game is not, reflecting of or mirroring, it doesn't have the same weight or value in any way of real life stuff.
Yeah, this is clearly fucking fantastical.
We're only talking about it in reference to sort of understanding reality and being aware that things that happen in games and in fiction are meant to be taken differently.
Yes.
Is
he gonna get really awkward and try to change?
Sobs.
Try to change the subject like he has with everyone else?
Everybody else, everyone else who's cried, he's been like, let's talk about something else!
Yeah, this character does
not engage with crying, and I'm interested to see. This is the saddest I've seen her, since you haven't really seen her. Well, I guess you saw her a little bit disappointed and vulnerable about her knee.
Yeah.
And you could call that sad, but yeah, this is definitely the saddest you've ever seen her.
Yep, here we go.
Should I do something?
Time to ask
I have to get a choice. It's choice time. I can either hug her or wait for her to stop crying. Those are the only 2 choices in the entire world. I cannot speak to her. What should I do?
That's so...
Oh my God. And it's not offer her a hug. Again, we've been talking through this entire game of how Mr.'s choices or the your MC's choices don't reflect any level of participation with the other person or any level of option. They just do it or don't do it. Right. It's not offer a hug to Miki, invite Miki to hug you, anything like that. Or even share a hug with Miki. Mm-hmm. It's hug and comfort Miki. You're doing this to her. Miki, she's not involved. Wait for her to stop crying. And the game is deliberately telling you, you cannot speak to her in this moment. And she's gone from crying to sobbing, which is what they just described. And I'm like, I'm not comfortable with him just going, I'll just hug you. But the only reason I'm not going to choose it, because it doesn't matter what my comfort is if I'm trying to play a character, is that he is sitting in his wheelchair and she is sitting on the bed because she sat on the bed to talk to him. So to hug her, he would have to roll up to her and hug her knees, or he would have to pull her down off of the bed to his level to hug her, or he would have to stand himself up next to her, a complicated gesture with his full leg cast, while leaning on the bed railing, to then reach over to her with one arm and hug her. And I can't imagine that her as a nurse, while he's doing this complicated gesture of trying to suddenly stand up out of his wheelchair, that she wouldn't go, oh gosh, do you need some help?
Right.
So I can't see how he would be able to get to her to hug her without her stopping crying to interact as a nurse who does her job because of the complicatedness of the gesture, or he's rolling up to her and hugging her knees.
Right.
I will hug her knees and hips. It's okay, Miki.
I support you.
And going, that
and
would
your
be...
legs.
And I just pull you gently into my lap. It's fine. Now I can hug you. Bap.
And then that is all other levels of impropriety, but that's all right. Here we go. Yeah,
the reason you can't hug and comfort Miki is because you cannot reach. And based on her behavior as a nurse so far, I am confident, especially when she's asked you what you're doing or if you need help, and I'll need to help you and stuff like that. If you tried to stand up to hug her while she's sitting on that bed to get out of your wheelchair to be able to reach her, that you wouldn't be able to.
Right.
And since you can't speak, we're going to wait for her to stop crying.
Ha!
No use hugging her now.
No use.
I think she's about to stop crying. And you can't hug someone if they're about to stop crying.
Yep, can't do it.
A few seconds pass, and my suspicions prove true. You were suspicious that she was about to stop crying?
Oh,
you didn't posit it, think it, wonder it, assume it, project it. You were suspicious of it? My suspicion that she was going to stop crying. Miki stops crying. And she's stunned by this experience. She is super surprised that she has stopped crying.
I
All right, guys. Well, we're going to find out what she's so surprised about in reference to her stopping to cry. Also, did she get tears in her eye like everyone else? I didn't notice her getting a crying face.
I didn't notice either.
Are you the only one that doesn't get tears when you're crying?
That's wild.
That is an interesting choice because, Luisa and Rena definitely do.
Yep. Well, thank you very much, guys, then, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos if you're having a good time with us. Please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or Patreon. Got some links in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you. Bye!